Hello friends, Chris Good is here, and in this video we're gonna go through 37 foundational email marketing rules that's made me and my clients millions. I've produced more than 8 figures for companies, and I've distilled everything into 37 rules that if you follow, you will be able to start pulling in 6 figures, even 7 figures a month from your email, depending on the size of your list, just like more clients are doing. So let's dive in. First off, let's kill a rumor that's been circling around. Email is dead. When I hear that, cringe harder than a comedian bombing a bad joke. It's far from dead. It's still delivering 4,400% ROI. So every dollar spent in on email marketing brings a $44 return. So it's just silly not spending time on it. So besides all of that, let's dive in. Email rule number one is your positioning. It's just like an expert sniper picking the spot in the battlefield. We have to choose the right positioning for our offers. And what does exactly mean? It means that the battle for the top position in your marketplace is not being won by butting heads with your competitors, is not being won by looking at your product and coming up with different angles. It's being won in your prospect's mind. So before you lay a finger on your keyboard, we have to make sure we go deep into research mode and come up with a positioning that's favorable compared to everything else in the marketplace. Again, if we look at how prospects make decisions, it's a form of ladders, right? They have a ladder for each specific piece. There's always for each specific need they have in the marketplace. So, for example, when it comes to a fitness coaching program, they know that solution number one is this, solution number two is this, solution number three is this. So, where positioning comes in is instead of playing that game along that ladder, you can choose to create your own ladder and not call it, let's say, a fitness program, but a lifestyle optimization program. Now, then that's a quick example, but essentially you're creating a new ladder in the prospect's mind instead of having to compete versus anyone else. Now, email rule number two is a riveting promise. What are we promising the customer? We have to be super clear around our promise and solving a very specific burning fire, very specific present pain. All of us, we have a specific currency, whether that's doing butt naked sprints on the beach or wads of cash inside our sales. But we have to find out what our ideal customer wants and distill it into a powerful, riveting promise. Rule number three is we have to tell stories. Stories make the world go round, make the nuns pray in the evenings, make customers take out our wallets. So by introducing stories, we are able to transfer that emotion in a way that doesn't feel manipulative. Let me give you an example. When I have sell my own coaching program, when it comes to the conversion catalysts, being a mix between a copywriter and a sales professional, I tell my story of how I went from being a pharmacist in a factory, earning $10 an hour, killing myself inhaling antibiotics all day, and rotting myself inside out, and how I used sales and essentially being a conversion catalyst to transition, enter companies, and make more than the CEO. This is a story that shows vulnerability, shows that I'm real. I once was where you are, and this is how I can help you take on a similar journey. So this is a story that transfers that emotion, transfers that journey. Email rule number four, don't talk like a brand, talk just like a human. So a lot of times we see smaller brands vastly outperform revenue wise when it comes to marketing dollars from email, vastly outperform larger brands. And because we're not talking to like a faceless corporation to consumers, we're talking as a human to human. We've personalized the brand, and brands are doing it very well at Dollar Shave Club, Basecamp, Ramit Sethi in the info space, and sumo.com. Great examples. So when we put a face behind the brand, and especially when it comes to expert brands, the more the more they get to know, like, and trust us, the more sales we will make. Email rule number five, we have to send more emails. Let's be real. The uninitiated, yes, they will screech, they will scream like Dracula if we shower them with garlic oil, but it's putting a limit onto your earning potential. The reality is, the more you send, the more you make. It's simple math. So how we can increase the frequency without being annoying is making our emails fun and entertaining. That's how we start being welcome inside the inbox. Now, a lot of people will unsubscribe, but that's fine. You don't want to pay fat email software bills for people who will never buy from you. So it's a win-win, really, having people unsubscribe from the list, um, who would never buy your stuff. Now, what's the optimal frequency? It can depend. As I mentioned, the more you send, the more you make. I have many clients which we have daily emails. Of course, not everything has to be an offer email. We can have harvesting content, which is hand raisers, help people they raise their hand. We make an invitation, and then we can drive them towards a call or close them over chat. Or next day, you can have a straight value-based email, sending them to a podcast, sending them to your Facebook group to nurture them with content. Day three, you can have a storytelling email, again with an invitation, but if we deliver an insight using that story, it can be a lot less invasive and a lot more welcoming. Email rule number six: don't be a bore. Don't be dull. Don't be boring. Don't be timid, because we're gonna get lost in a sea of goldfish. Just like great white sharks, we want to yank attention like no other. So we cannot bore our prospects enough to buy our product. It's just facts. So we have to introduce and inject entertainment. So once, and this is the style that we follow with our agency, we like to introduce entertainment with education. That's the perfect mix. It's something that we call edutainment. And we edutain with stories, with parables, with analogies that deliver an insight. That's the key piece. We don't want just to tell random stories about our cat, about our dog. We can, as long as it serves as the container for an insight. Now, email rule number seven: let's learn to abhor praise. So, if we send out an invitation and people get back, oh, this was a great email, amazing work, love your stuff, bad news. They clearly saw the email as a tactic. It didn't serve the purpose. A perfect email serves its purpose only when customers they reply back to buy or to express interest. We don't Clubs don't fill stomachs. Try to stay away, and if you do get positive praise, see it as a sign that it wasn't a good email or it wasn't a good promo, because it gets praise, it doesn't get sales. Email rule number 8: present pain before future gain. Now, any man will swallow 2 boxes of painkillers for his drilling headache way before we buy bottles of vitamins. It always be the case. People will always optimize for present pain. Let's fix the now thing before future gain, before we start working towards our vision. Email rule number 9: before and after. That's the power of contrast. And it doesn't just work for weight loss. We have to draw a powerful image of their current situation. So, how does the painful problem impact their lives? How worse can life get if they don't solve this now? And how does that life look like after they solve their problem? So we have the before state and the after state. Once we are able to split a clear gap between their current and the future self, we are able to make much more from our emails. So the clearer that picture, um, the more emotion we will be able to spark in our customers' brains. Email number 10: pretty straightforward, but the shorter the sentences, the more punchy they are the business, as I have written down here in the blog post. So we are able to build tension, to add impact, and it's a slippery slide. This is a copywriting principle, but we want every line has to lead into the next one. When we have long lines, it leads nowhere. It um, it can take away the interest of the prospect. Email rule number 10, back your words. So every claim, even the riveting promise that we make, it has to be followed by equal or stronger proof. So every time I'm saying, if you do this, you'll do that, I have to prove my statement. If you prove my statement, it adds much more validity to it. So that can be customer testimonials, social proofs, case studies, or specific studies from third parties, expert celebrity endorsements, or proven track records of authority. Just like I'm able to say, I've produced 8 figure for clients, you can really see that these email rules work. Email rule number 12, address objections. So this is where we start doing pre-handling objections. So let's say if we do a hand raiser post where we have a call to action, engaging prospects to reply back. If we are able to pre-handle those objections in that email, the faster the sales conversation will be. So once we tackle every possible objection before they rise, so instead of that skepticism, will turn into a has, that's where the faster the sales cycle will be. Email rule number 13, a lot of people do it. We want to use scarcity, but don't use slimy, fake, or let's not be silly about our scarcity. Don't say 10 copies left if we're selling an ebook. Don't say 5 spots left for my coaching program, and then you say that every month. So fear of missing out is a powerful principle, but it has to be respected. So let's be smart about it. Yes, open specific slots, but ideally we have to come up with a reason to do so. And there are a lot of reasons, like there are a lot of ways to introduce scarcity. So if you want to, on a virtual good, on a virtual service, if you want to have scarcity, you can say, okay, we will take 100 people for this, only the first 10 will receive the bonus. That's real scarcity because you're saying you want to reward fast action takers, nothing fake about it. So the first 10 who buy now will get that bonus. Email rule number 14, uh, bring metaphors into play. So especially when we're selling something more complex, we can use metaphors to break things down and explain them in a way a 5-year-old could write on, could, like a 5-year-old explaining a story to their parents. So just like Bob Ross would turn a few strokes with a paintbrush into a wonderful painting, simple metaphors can easily transform a hard concept into a very digestible little insight for our audiences to deliver. Email rule number 5, we have to project mind movies, and this is a big one. So when we're writing an email, um, we have to picture we have to use picture words, not abstract words. So pictures like tree, push, sunny, they create vivid images in the brain. Abstract words like advantage, utilize, hopeful, these are very hard for our mind to grasp, and it can have different connotations for each one. So the more ambiguous we are, writing something that means different things on different occasions, our audience, we're losing them. They get bored, they get distrustful. So for optimal results, out of every promotion in your presentations, in your pitches, if I could see this in a movie, how would it look like exactly? Let's not be pretentious. So emails should be colorful but very simple. Flowery language just doesn't pass. We're not there to impress prospects. We have to write just like we talk. So if we want our emails to be high converters and really be emails easy to consume and easy to buy from, we have to trade in the $10 words when the $5, when the 5-cent words can say the same thing. Number 17, unchain your personality. Be loose with it. I don't hold a lot of things back unless we aspire to become grand journalists here. Give your point of view on everything we write and be bold about it. Your emails will be more personal, relatable, and noteworthy, and you can be polarizing. Like, not everyone will buy from you. The more polarizing we are, we've seen this with many figures online. The more polarizing you are, you will attract the right people towards you. Rule number 18, let's go a little bit deeper into psychology here. Grant them the ideal identity. So every person aspires to be an ideal version of themselves, a future identity. So there's much more power to start to get them thinking like the future identity, like rather than their present identity. So as an example, instead of thanking people for downloading your productivity app, congratulate them from taking the first step to becoming a high performing individual. So another example is instead of patting people on the back for buying your investment course, welcome them into the financially independent club. Rule number 19, always have a guarantee. So if your product is legitimately good, then you shouldn't have a problem with a guarantee. You can introduce a refund depending on its case. Um, and if you offer refunds and you keep having to give refunds, it means that something is wrong. We have to go back to the drawing board, craft a better customer satisfaction process, and this works very well because you show your customers that you have skin in the game, that you're on their side of the table. So I always recommend my clients have a guarantee in there. It doesn't have to be a money back, it can be a performance based guarantee. We'll keep working with you until we achieve results. That's how we show them that we're on their side of the table. That's how we're able to get them to convert. Email rule number 20, justify the purchase. So making claims about the product is not enough. Let's give them a reason why. So your reason why, in its essence, gives your offer, and not just your offer, but your entire business, a purpose. Why are we doing what we're doing? People will align with businesses who have a powerful why. An example is consulting success. A client for many years, clients love how the company has a big reason why. Everything is attached to the family. We treat everyone that comes on board as a family member, and we want to empower B2B consultants to really become more independent, charge premium rates, get higher quality clients. So we have a powerful why, and a lot of people get magnetized because of that why. Now, email rule number 21, unveil your flaws. We have to make the skeleton dance, just a lot of people call it. So when we voluntarily reveal drawbacks of our product, we create a two-sided argument inside the same email. We're able to earn trust. So because we confirm our ability to fulfill the main promise, and only that, your prospects already know you're not perfect. So why not tell them? It's very disarming because you're showing them that you're human, just like everyone. You're not portraying the perfect, pristine picture. Reveal your flaws, and essentially, in their mind, it's answering the question, oh, but what's the catch here? So, if you can introduce some drawbacks into your offer, you are able to inject much more trust into your prospect. Email rule number 22, you have to segment your list. So not every subscriber is going to have the same needs. Don't make them the same offer. This is where service come in handy. So as you have new leads coming into the email list, it can be as simple as them receiving a simple email that says, for example, if you're selling a consulting or a sales coaching offer, I can ask something like, okay, are you a business owner or are you a sales professional looking to make more sales? So that's how I can segment my list, and I can send them specific emails around that avatar. If they're a business owner, they can get advice around building their business and their sales. If they're a sales professional, they can receive an email on how to make more commissions. Email rule number 23, use visuals. Nothing sells better than words, but visuals steal attention and reinforce your argument. So you can use pictures, GIFs, mini videos inside your emails, and they hook your prospects in, and it draws attention, of course, to the copy, to what you have to say. Email rule number 24, keep your layouts simple. While visuals will help, keep them at a minimum. So ideally, when you're writing an email, I would introduce no more than one image. In the case of, let's say, if you want to introduce more than one case study, I would just keep it very simple, just an image of your prospect, and that's that. I've in the past I've heavily used um, no code, just simple HTML emails, and they always work like a charm. So I would optimize for that and introduce images only when needed, only when I need proof or I need to make a specific point. Email rule number 5, deploy curiosity. So curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. In many cases, curiosity won't just slide readers down a slippery slope and keep them reading, but it will drag them all the way to clicking the buy button. Especially when it comes to info products, thousands of sales can be attributed just to one single powerful bullet point that people just couldn't pass up. People have to know the answer. So a lot of times, the more curiosity you inject, the better your emails will perform, and a lot of times you will get more sales just because you introduced curiosity. Email rule number 26, embrace the weird. So I once wrote an email with a subject line, shrimp visibility secrets. It sold a podcasting course, and it was the best performing email of the series. So when you introduce weird, unusual stories, you are able to draw and seize attention, stand out in the inbox, and make that curiosity that we were discussing above skyrocket. So when you're able to play around with unique, bizarre angles, find stories online, find quick, quirky little things to mention, you're able to connect them to your product. You will become unforgettable. Email rule number 7: the more you can weave in current stories, latest news. People like to keep up with Jonas's. So when you do help them, keep them informed, but also naturally weave in your offers or insights around your marketplace, you're exploiting that opportunity in a good way. So you can piggyback out of events and momentums that current events generate. Email rule number 28, we have to honor the subject line. So if people don't open your emails, they won't read them. So be very, very precise and careful with your subject lines. A powerful formula, powerful benefit plus curiosity, how to get clients using the shrimp visibility principle almost never fails. Another way of looking at it is to create symptomatic subject lines. And this is an example of, for example, if you're selling a sales education course, you can say something like end of the month, still no sales, or ending a month without a new client. So this is a symptom, right? I'm not talking about how to get clients, which everyone could write. I'm talking about a specific timeline in their month and a symptom that's really haunting them at the time because it's the end of the month, they don't have new revenue coming in. Email rule number 9 is how long should the subject line be? We have to be short, punchy, to the point. With a lot of our clients, when we do send out invitation emails, a simple RSVP does the trick. So brevity is the soul of wit. So make every word earn its place. Email rule number 30, you have to personalize the subject line. So if you can introduce when a new lead comes into your list and you are able to introduce their name into the subject line, you will get higher open rates. My most A lot of my business, especially in the beginning, came from cold email. The best performing subject line by far, it was question for name. Simple as that. Question, curiosity for personalized subject line. Use it, but don't abuse it. It works like a charm. Email rule number 31, show small regard to open rates. So yes, you do want people to open your emails. However, clicks and opens won't make your account unhappy, especially when we're introducing symptomatic subject lines I was talking above. You won't get the highest open rates, but you will get sales because you're targeting a very narrow slice of the audience, but it's highly relevant for them. So once they resonate with the message that much, they will be able to raise their hand and buy. Email rule number 32: people still read long emails. So yes, readership falls off after 50 words, but it's because of lack of interest or boredom. And this is a long video. Probably you're sticking around because it's valuable for you. So people can talk all day about themselves and they will read all day about themselves. So as long as you make it about them and not about you, you will be able to keep them hooked. Email rule number 33: get on their side of the table, right? So self-proclaimed gurus preach, yell, and shove prospects to buy now or else. Take action today or you don't deserve success. If you want to be ultra rich, you should join today or unsubscribe. Are you a winner or a tire kicker? Winners buy. Very silly, very slimy. So a better idea is to lead with empathy. So of course you have to sell, but instead of pointing fingers, blaming them, strong arming them into a decision, show them that you understand. You know where they're at. That's how you created your offer for them. You know that they're fearful, but it is that fear that's going to empower them. So you have to help them turn that fear into excitement. There are always two emotions, fear and excitement, when it comes to decision making. Help them step into that excitement instead of just blaming them for their fear. Email rule number 34: use one call to action, keep it short, keep it crisp, only point them towards one direction. The more offers you put in an email, the more your response rate will drop. So make it one call to action, make it clear. If you want them to reply back with a specific word. If you want to send them to a webinar or a sales page, send them there. Keep it at that. Remove social links, remove any podcasts or YouTubes or Facebook groups. Keep it to one call to action. A lot of people will miss this. Repeat your winners. Like, did you have an email that worked 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years before? Send it again. Change the subject line. You will be surprised how easily people forget. You will get bored of your offer, of your emails way, way faster before your prospects get bored of them. So this way, when you do repeat your winners, new subscribers will get to read your best stuff because it follows a proven formula. But also, not everyone will go through it, not everyone will read it the first time. Email rule number 36: you don't need the best email to send an email in the first place. So, everything I said up to this point is useless unless we start sending. You don't have to tick all the boxes to send an email. Send it today, not tomorrow. You don't have to be flawless. Pop up your email software, put together an email with a CTA to your product, send it out. That's how you make sales. Better done than perfect. Perfectionism becomes a badge of honor for the suffering hero. Don't be that. Imperfect action yields progress. The simplest thing is, hey, just open up a few spots for Avatar. I'm going to help them with big benefit. Would you like to join us? Reply back and I'll send you the details. It can be as simple as that. And based on the feedback that you're getting, you can tweak along the way. And email rule number 37: this is the number one most important part of the email. It's not your subject line. It's not your CTA. It's not the main benefit of your product. It's you. The money is not on your list, is not in the audience. It's in the relationship with your audience. So most people reel subscribers in with junk lead magnets. They blast them with last chance email and then vanish until the next launch. Just like having a friend from high school who calls you only when he needs money or to pitch an MLM business. That's a prime reason why we see declining open rates, poor engagement, no sales. But when we take the time to consistently show up day in and out in front of your audience and you reveal your true personality, who you are, not just sending templates, not just sending Jeff Walker launches, I don't know what, people will trust you and they will invest in your offerings and they will reach out by themselves. So instead of making $1 to $10 per subscriber and looking for a new prey to hunt for every launch, you'll have customers consistently asking for your next offers. People don't buy into just what you have, but also who you are. So I invite you to apply this rule especially lavishly, and that concludes it. You have a solid foundation to build on. I will put this link to the description. If you enjoyed this, please take a moment, subscribe. Lots of good stuff coming in. Drop a like while you're at it, and I'll see you on the next one.